Abandonment seems pretty self-explanatory, and when I find abandonment, especially for coming up for somebody around a young age, then it would mean that they experienced abandonment. Doesn't mean that they were actually abandoned, but that their subconscious translated that as being abandoned, as experiencing it as being abandoned. Where it becomes a little bit more tricky when I find it when somebody is older. Because then it can mean that either you were on the receiving end of the abandonment or you are the one doing the abandoning. And in either case, not processing it really well. So the challenge with an emotion like abandonment, especially when it comes up as an older person, or if you've not had an emotion code session done or body code session done, and you are getting to know this emotion, how abandonment feels, and you recognize it when it comes up, is to ask yourself, am I being abandoned? Or am I doing the abandonment? Or the third option always, is this a story that I am telling, that I am abandoning somebody by having a boundary or whatever other situation, or that I'm being abandoned, even if that is not the case, because that can always be a possibility, and it's not to be just papered over. It's something that we then need to be acknowledged, embrace, allow, and heal. But if it is legit a situation of experiencing abandonment as it is happening at the time, abandonment, like every other emotion, asks you to pause, to ask, what am I even feeling? To allow it, embrace it, acknowledge it, and then to say, why am I feeling this? Evaluate what is going on around you in your relationships to yourself. Have you been abandoning yourself, not taking care of yourself, not holding your boundaries, not speaking up, not honoring your anger, not walking through your grief? Because sometimes abandonment comes up when we are ignoring our other emotions. So ask yourself, why? Why am I experiencing this abandonment? Am I maybe the one abandoning somebody else? Or have I been abandoned? Have I been abandoned by people who were supposed to support me? Or have I had an expectation of something and now feel abandoned because that expectation hasn't been met? It is, no matter how trivial it seems, when abandonment comes up, and I really encourage you to sit with this emotion at a time where you're not experiencing it and just practice how it feels. How does it show up in your body so that you become familiar with it? Because it's just a guide. It's not a threat. So when abandonment comes up, practice your discernment. Why has this shown up? And then evaluate what has been going on. And then adjust what needs to be adjusted. Hold your boundaries, even though you feel that others are accusing you of abandonment, or you feel that you are abandoning somebody. Heal the story that says that you are always abandoned, or that you are always doing the abandoning. Reevaluate the relationships where you do feel abandoned, and it's not just a story, it's an actual true situation, and ask yourself, how do I get myself in these situations? Or that work situations where you do not have the support that was promised and where you do get abandoned. Like every other emotion, abandonment doesn't say anything about our worth. Nobody deserves to be abandoned or experience abandonment. It doesn't say anything about our morality. It's not a judge. It doesn't say anything about our strength. But it does ask us to evaluate, adjust, and act. Do the same for abandonment as you would for any other emotion that just wants to guide you into a place that is more aligned with who you are.